Mayor Mike Duggan is hosting a press conference this afternoon at the groundbreaking of an $18 million affordable housing project. The development on Michigan Avenue is expected to breathe new life into a vacant property in the East Chadsey-Condon neighborhood. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
A special welcome to our community partners, our partners in this development, the neighbors that live in this community, and all of our friends for coming here today to celebrate this momentous occasion and what is a transformational event for the East Chadsey-Condon neighborhood of Detroit. I'm honored and thrilled to be here with all of you to celebrate the groundbreaking of My Side Community Impact Network's new 39-unit affordable housing development, the Campbell Street Apartments. This has been a labor of love over a number of years, and those of us who work in our headquarters right here have grown tired of staring at this empty lot. And so we're so excited that this project is finally coming to fruition, both for this neighborhood and for the residents that need affordable housing. And this new apartment project, I think, embodies progress, compassion, and community, which are characteristics that not only define this great neighborhood, but our great city as well. This neighborhood, East Chadsey-Condon, has a very rich history of resilience and community spirit. And today we're going to add another chapter to that story. This groundbreaking ceremony is not just a symbolic turning of soil, but a pledge for the future to make a commitment to maintaining the strong and inclusive community where access to quality and affordable housing remains a possibility for all Detroit residents, regardless of their economic circumstances. And we're going to start by building that today with the opening of these apartments. These apartments, as I mentioned, will add 40 units of much needed affordable housing to this area, and it will offer its residents unprecedented access to supports that they need right across the street. Our My Side headquarters here has a free health clinic and dental clinic through our partner, Covenant Community Care. Our behavioral health services, access to wealth building and financial supports, and a WIC office that's run by the city, all across the street from where these new residents will have the opportunity to live. Very exciting. Now, this groundbreaking would not be possible without a number of collaborators and supporters who are here with us today. MISTA, in particular, PNC Bank, Michigan Eagle, and last but not least, the City of Detroit, as well as the residents and community leaders who have advocated for a brighter, more inclusive future for Detroit. I want to extend my deepest gratitudes to all of you who helped make this partnership possible, this development possible, and who played a role in creating this vision and making it a reality. I also want you to know that this Campbell Street apartment development is just the beginning. Hopefully, a year or so from now, you'll be back here for the groundbreaking of Wesson Street Apartments, which is another 40 units of affordable housing that will go right behind the apartments that are going up today. And we couldn't be more excited. So with that, it is my privilege to introduce our friend, the Mayor of Detroit, Mike Duggan, without whose leadership, none of this would be possible. Mr. Mayor.
Well, I want to say congratulations to Sean DeFore and the team for the vision here. You do not see tent encampments in the city of Detroit the way you do almost any place else in America. I was in Chicago this weekend. I went there in the hope that the Lions were going to have a good football game. But what you see in Chicago, you see in so many places, are not enough places to live, people living in tents. A couple miles up the street, when Ford Motor Company decided to move into the train station, we saw the rents in the Corktown neighborhood take off, and we are now building 300 new affordable units because we're trying to catch up. We are going to make sure that no one is displaced from a neighborhood because of success. But Sean and the team came to us and said, that's all great what you're doing right there in Corktown, but the development is already spreading up Michigan Avenue. The property values are coming up. You can see storefronts filling in. He said, let's not wait until people are priced out of this neighborhood. Why don't we get ahead of the curve? Build 39 low-income units to start. Concentrate on folks who are often homeless or frequently homeless. Let's get these folks stabilized. Let's get ahead of the curve. And that's what we're doing in this city. We are now approaching 10,000 affordable housing units that we have either preserved or built new in every corner of the city. And probably not a lot of people would have thought that at Michigan and 35th, you would start building affordable housing before the development got here. But we have great partners here, and of course, Governor Whitmer and Amy Hovey, who's Detroit's best friend, running MSHDA. It seems like I'm with her every other week in a different part of the city. And so congratulations, Sean. Great program, and I look forward to coming back for the next one.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're so grateful. I want to introduce somebody from the Housing and Revitalization Department under Mayor Duggan's administration, Jason Friedman. That department, of course, is instrumental with all of our developments, and in particular this one. Jason, can you come up?
Good afternoon, and thank you so much for the opportunity to be here today. My name is Jason Friedman. I'm with the city's Housing and Revitalization Department in the Public-Private Partnership Division. Unfortunately, our director, Julie Snyder, couldn't be here today, but she sends her congratulations. HRD's mission is to soundly and transparently invest funds and deliver services to ensure that neighborhoods are high quality, affordable, and accessible to and for all Detroiters. On behalf of the more than 230 people who work in the Housing and Revitalization Department daily to make this mission a reality, I'd like to say congratulations to Sean DeFore, My Side Community Impact Network, and everyone that's been involved in this project so far. In 2018, the city launched an initiative to develop and preserve 12,000 units of affordable housing. Because the work to restore neighborhoods starts with housing options that are affordable to everyone. We were very close to meeting that goal, and in this area of the city, you can really see the tremendous impact that affordable housing can have in restoring a neighborhood. In the last year alone, we've started construction on La Jolla Gardens on Verner, the Brook on Bagley at Bagley and 16th, and left field at Michigan and Trumbull. And we're starting to see more and more development move west into this neighborhood. And we're hoping to announce more opportunities, as Sean mentioned, next year. Today, we celebrate the beginning of construction on the Campbell Street Apartments, which will bring 40 greatly needed affordable housing units to this neighborhood. HRD is proud to support the rebuilding of this neighborhood, and that's why we've made a commitment to invest $1.7 million in this $18 million project. Converting projects like this from concept to reality often takes many people and funders and years of behind-the-scenes work to make that happen. I want to thank the many organizations and people that are committed to housing in Detroit, including Mayor Duggan, City Council Member Gabriela Santiago Romero, the Michigan State Housing Development Authority, and the many others that helped to make this project happen. Especially some of my HRD teammates who couldn't be here today. I want to say thank you to Larry Katradar, Larry Cade, John Salvatore, and Naomi Beasley on the housing underwriting team, Michael Neal and Denisha Stevens with the Construction Management Division, and DeLorean Holmes and Michelle Lee with the Public-Private Partnership Division. Congratulations again to the development team. And next I'd like to bring up Amy Hovey with the Michigan State Housing Development Authority. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And in behalf of MSHDA and the Whitmer administration, I want to say congratulations to you and your team and all the partners here today. This is hard work. You know, we are suffering a housing crisis in the state of Michigan, and every single unit counts. So thank you for that. Also, thank you for providing housing to some of our most vulnerable families in Michigan. The fact that half of these units are for families under 40% of area median income is very impactful and very hard to do. You know, at MSHDA, we're I think, covering just about 70% of the financing for this project. And that's the easy part. That last 30 is some of the most difficult funding to secure to make these housing projects affordable for the most lower income families in our state. I'm here a lot because of the city's commitment to affordable housing. Their ability to provide additional gap funding is making these projects financially feasible, and that's why we're here continuing to do these groundbreakings, making sure that Detroit residents have a place to live. So thank you to the city for your commitment. And then finally, building in the built environment is also hard to do. And sometimes it takes innovation, some patience to get around the environmental issues that come with a built environment, especially in our industrial cities in the state. So I also want to thank the department, Eagle, for your hand in partnership in making this housing project feasible within the city of Detroit. All of these folks need to come together in order to make these housing projects happen. And I'm thankful to be amongst one of the partners in making this feasible today. So thank you for having me. And I'd like to introduce our partners at Eagle, Carrie Geyer, who runs the Brownfield Redevelopment Program at Eagle.
Thanks, Amy. So as Amy said, the built environment comes with complications, right? It comes with oftentimes contamination. And that means brownfield redevelopment is at the forefront of these projects. And brownfield redevelopment requires a lot of collaboration, patience, creativity, and just plain old hard work to get those projects across the finish line. And in essence, it takes a village to make these projects go. And Eagle is super excited to be part of that village on this project. I mean, this is an amazing project with great partners, and we're just glad to be standing amongst y'all. We love this project because it is really the epitome of what brownfield redevelopment is all about. You have a contaminated property that's been vacant for 30 years, and we are cleaning it up and bringing it back to productive use. That's good stuff. The property's been contaminated with historic operations that were at the site dating back to the late 1800s, where there was service stations, gas stations, rubber vulcanizing operations, the legacy of which left behind contamination that really needed to be addressed before you could reutilize those properties in a safe way, or that property in a safe way. And that was our role. That was where we came in. We provided a $1 million grant to remove the contaminated soil from the property. And I don't know if any of you saw the excavation that happened prior to this, but basically we dug out the whole property down to 8 feet, sometimes 18 feet. It was a 20,000 tons of contaminated soil that came out of that. Clean fills back in. It's a now clean property ready for the reuse, which in and of itself, as you all have heard here today, is quite ambitious and amazing. We are so happy to be a partner with this and so happy to be on this team. Kudos to the development team for all you've done. And I want to give a shout out to Sarah Venner from my staff. She's worked very hard on this project and helped to bring it over the finish line. So thank you very much. And with that, I'm bringing Sean back up.
Thank you again, Jason, Amy, and Carrie. And I was one of those people that saw the 9 to 18 feet of digging and the soil being removed, and it was quite incredible. But more than that, it's nice to know that this neighborhood that has a lot of children and families is living next to a cleaned up site that is now being put back into use for a much higher purpose. As Amy mentioned, the financing of a project like this, an $18 million build with 40 units, is no easy task. And while MSHDA does 70% of the heavy lifting, our partners in the financing and banking sector do the rest. And we couldn't have made this project possible without PNC Bank, which is providing the rest of the funding for the project. So Brian Keeler, I'd like you to come up and say a few words, and we want to thank you for your support.
Good afternoon. My name is Brian Keeler, and I have the pleasure of overseeing community development banking for PNC Bank throughout the state of Michigan. As a national Main Street bank, we're charged with how can we help to strengthen our communities, bring in strategic investments and lending opportunities forth. That's why in 2021, we deepened this commitment with an $88 billion community benefit plan agreement, where we look to inclusively and equitably invest more into small businesses, housing, and community development finance. Our role in this project at Campbell Street Apartments was to help fulfill the gap both in construction, financing, and investing into the tax credits. So this helped to bring the affordable housing of 39 units to this region of the city. All of us at PNC Bank want to applaud the great work of MSIDE and the development team in partnering with you. Through collaboration, we can help to, one, bring affordable housing throughout our region, throughout the city of Detroit and beyond. So thank you.
Thank you again, Brian. And finally, our last and maybe most special guest is Lydia Gutierrez, the owner of Hacienda Mexican Foods. And what makes a community isn't just its buildings, it's its people. It's its entrepreneurs, its business owners, its employers, the people that make it an actual home. And Lydia is definitely one of those. Lydia, would you come up and say a few words? Thank you.
So thank you very much. It gives me a tremendous amount of pleasure to be here and to be a part of this very important project. I can say that our company, which some of you may recognize, our tortilla chips. We manufacture tortilla chips, the 313, and that happens a stone's throw away from this project. We employ here at Hacienda more than 70 residents of this community. And so what we're doing here is not just a building, but it's really creating an environment for more things to happen, for better things to happen. I understand how difficult it is when you're trying to have a project or for this particular project, I know that Hacienda, we're also looking at a project, and it takes a tremendous amount of hard work. And you can't do it by yourself. There's just no way. And so we have some really beautiful community partners. I just want to thank our mayor. I mean, really, from the bottom of my heart, our community thanks you. We thank you for your incredible vision and the investment that you've made and that you continue to make, and not just here, but throughout our whole city. We are a better community because of you. But it takes all of us to be at the table. And Sean, I mean, we are neighbors, you know, and we are so proud of this project. I look forward to our employees being able to be residents here, to be able to walk to work. You know, we have lots of employees that still ride their bikes and walk. And we at Hacienda, we don't just hire, we adapt into our family. And when you're in a community like this, you have to adapt. You can't just look at somebody's resume or their application and say, okay, well, you can get a job or you can't. We look at what the needs are. And I'm going to tell you that there is a lot of need in our community. And it takes a village. It takes all of us coming together to strengthen our community. And this project is not just about, it's not just about today. It's about the future. It's about the future of those kids that are going to the school at Hope Academy or at any of the other schools around here. And so I'm just privileged to be here today and to say thank you to all the partners, and also to remind you all to buy our tortilla chips. We thank you so much.
Thank you, Lydia. And I can attest they are the best tortilla chips this side of the equator. Okay, so thank you for joining us to celebrate this momentous occasion, especially to all of our partners. We just appreciate you greatly.